Welcome back to the Legacy Electric Z build. In today's episode, we're going to be showing you how you can charge your electric build. Again, this episode is sponsored by our friends at AEM EV. If you've watched any of the series, you know we're using their entire family of AEM EV electric vehicle controllers. So this is going to be just the CCU, or combined charge unit. You can see we've taken the hood off. We have the whole entire interior apart. We've come back from SEMA and just ripped everything apart. But yeah, we got the seats out, took the dash out, took the center console out, just so we can get to any of the wiring gremlins that we need to go through. We have some battery cell issues, small stuff, but annoying stuff. But once you set it and once it works, we can put everything back together. After we tested it, made sure it's good, go for a drive, and then we're back on the road, good to go. Because it does technically move right now, but it's on lower voltage, and it doesn't see the brake system, the brake signal for some reason, some other small stuff. But I digress. Today is all about how you charge your electric build. There's two different types of charging you need to do, and this, being a combined charging unit, does both of those things. So in EV, you have the need of charging the high voltage system or the 400 volt battery pack that we have in here. We have two Chevy Volt battery packs, so that's what we're using. But then you also need to charge your 12 volt like accessories and stuff like that. So we have a small little battery underneath the dash that runs all of our 12 volt stuff. If you had it just running while you're driving and it wasn't charging itself up, it'll eventually die, and then your VCU, all your BMS units, none of them are powered by anything because all of this stuff runs off of a 12 volt signal. So this essentially takes part of the high voltage charger and your alternator on your car. So EVs don't have alternators, they have something called a DC to DC converter. What that does is it steps down your high voltage if you're running 300, 400, 500 volts, steps it down to 12 volts or 14 volts to charge your 12 volt battery, just like an alternator would. So AEM has all of this combined in this one small package, which is awesome. A lot of onboard chargers are twice the size of this. Actually, I have a Tesla one I can show you. Dusty as hell. So you might not have believed me when I said that's small, but this is a Chevy Volt DC to DC converter, so it's only half of that thing. And then this is a Tesla onboard charger. So this small box from AEM takes both of those, the function of both of these boxes together, and is probably, what, half the size? So it makes it very, very easy and convenient. You only have to set it up in one spot. You can see both of these are liquid cooled, which is the same with the AEM CCU. So there's a coolant inlet and outlet. It doesn't matter which one of these you use as an inlet or outlet, it's just a loop. So this is the same liquid cooling that your batteries and everything get. Like our batteries down here have the same dash 12 vibrant lines running to them. So coolant goes in. We want to make sure that our fill is the highest point on the car, and this is the second highest. Well, this is the highest piece of the coolant system, so we made sure that the fill is a little higher than it. So this is our little reservoir. Fill this up with coolant. Cools our batteries and the charger, because the fan for the radiator that it's running through this system, through the CCU, will actually turn on. The system will monitor it, so all the BMSs will turn on, and the CCU will turn on while the charger for the 400 volt system is running. So even if the car's shut off and you're charging it overnight, it'll run, and if it gets hot, it has the ability to turn the radiator on, even with the ignition off, everything like that, so the batteries don't get overheated while you're charging them, because that's probably just as likely as if you're driving the car to overheat them. So they have a lot of nice ports on this, where like this is just your ground for your battery or for the whole system. And then there is another little port back here, very similar to this, that runs right to your 12-volt battery. And then other than that, there's this top clip right here that runs to your J1772 charger port. So this is a very common port in North America. I think in Europe they have slightly different ports, but we're in America, so we don't have to worry about that. And then AEM, I've mentioned it before, but AEM has a universal harness that they have set up. It's technically for their VCU 200s, but they're working on a new one for their 300. So we had to de-pin some stuff, but their universal harness has plugs for the dash, the 8-channel keypad, all like your BMS master, and this plug right here. So I didn't even have to plug, I didn't have to do any of the pin wires for any of this stuff. The signal from the ignition just goes in to that harness, and then it tells the VCU to wake up, and then it tells the CCU what to do if it needs to charge, or if it needs to just send signal or send a 14-volt DC-DC charge to the 12-volt system. All that's taken care of. So literally just get your harness, plug it in here. You wire in, 3 wires from this plug to this guy. There's 2 smaller little proximity wires that you do have to wire into this guy. These 2 little pins right here. That's just basically telling the 12-volt system that, hey, this is plugged in and it's trying to charge. Because until the CCU sees those signals, it's not gonna try to charge the system. They made this very, very foolproof. You just plug in the positive and negative from your full battery system. So your negative most post, positive most post, plug them into this bottom clip. So that's where the charge takes it in here, goes through this port into the charging unit, and then it will send the power back out through these 2 cables. So there's 2 orange, every orange cable is gonna be your high voltage stuff. So that's how they note that. This is orange and this actually isn't high voltage, but I stole it because it was a little extra wire and it matches everything. So this is just a ground, so disregard that. Very, very simple, very compact, makes it very easy to figure out a charging system and a DC-DC converter all in one small package. Again, a big thank you to AEM EV for sending us the CCU, as well as all the other products from them. We will have a link in the description below to AEM EV's website, where you can find more information on the CCU, as well as their entire line of AEM EV products. So thank you again, and we will have more videos on the rest of the system and how the family works together coming soon.